Morning, morning, morning. It is day 3 of the Good Gut Guide. And welcome to those who are joining late. And also, can I just say that I'm so proud of you if you are in your day 3, because I know that on day 3, that's when those daily habits that have been really holding you back from your health goal, namely sugar, that's when they really start to, take its hold off you. Yeah. So, just a recap for those that might be joining for the first time or were just watching this video not aware what it's about. So, I have a program called the Good Gut Guide, which is an essential starting program for all of my clients. It's a nutrition program that is basically about creating your own personalized nutrition by starting with the gut. The gut is like our second brain. It holds so much of the microbes that are covering our body. These microbes can be bacteria, yeast, viruses. These are all different types of microbes. And what we're doing here in the Good Gut Guide is resetting our gut. So if you're experiencing symptoms of bloating, gas, skin breakouts, all of these can be an issue that lies within the gut. When we clean up our gut, we not only get to understand what foods our body loves and what it doesn't love, we see our health improve, our immunity improve, our skin improve, our energy improve. So if you are like any of my clients that are feeling, when they came to before they came to me, feeling flabby, foggy or fatigued, then the Good Gut Guide is the starting point of any health journey. So I've decided that this time around, because the Good Gut Guide I personally do myself, it's an elimination diet, so I do it personally myself every 3 months to reset my gut. I decided that this time round I was going to do it live with you every single day. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you've bought the program. You just go to elika.co, go to the programs page, scroll down and you'll see the Gut Guide. It's an online video training, so all the materials you have for life. I update it every 3 months. But in addition, if you haven't started already, if you decided, okay, you're a bit late to the game, it's okay, because you can rewatch the videos and you also get this daily support. And I'm going to keep this on just until the last 10 days and then I'm going to delete it from my account. So, those of you that are on the plan, that have been following me so far for the last 2 days, amazing, welcome to the live version of the Good Gut Guide. And, send me some love, and any questions that you have, just send me. So, hi to those that are just joining now. Carmen, yay, and Sarah, okay, lovely. So, let's get into it. So, on day 3, one of the things that I really want you to focus on today is, are you eating a balanced plate? So what do I mean by that? If you've got all the program materials now, you've bought the Good Gut Guide program, you will know that in the materials, one of them is your 5-step guide. And one of the steps in the 5-step guide is to eat a balanced plate. Balanced plate looks like 40% of your plate being full of fruit and vegetables, as many colours as you can, but I absolutely love green vegetables, and 10% being whole grains that are gluten-free, because we're removing gluten from our diet in the first 7 days of the program. So gluten grains are barley, wheat and rye. I also recommend to avoid oats because of the cross-contamination. So you want to be eating grains like rice, can be brown or white, whatever, purple, red, whatever. Buckwheat, millet, teff, these are all examples of grains that are completely whole grains and that are gluten-free naturally. 25% of your plate should be quality proteins. Your choice as to whether those proteins are plant-based or meat or fish. If they're plant-based, great examples of plant-based proteins are peas, pulses, so things like lentils, chickpeas, beans, the nuts and seeds. These are all great examples of good quality plant-based proteins. If you're taking meat and fish, please try to look for sustainable, high quality versions of meat and fish. So with red meat, you want to be looking at, grass-fed and organic wherever possible. For chicken, you want to be looking at hormone antibiotic-free versions. And for fish, you want to be looking at sustainably sourced fish. So these are protein versions, and then 25% that's left would be good fats. So good fats are things like your avocados, your nuts, all the products for them like nut butters and nut melts, all the good quality oils that are not highly processed. So that would be your extra virgin olive oil, your coconut oil, your avocado oil, walnut oil. Please stay away from processed seed oils that really are bad for your health. So these are vegetable oils and sunflower oils. They are complete no-nos, okay? You want to be looking for these high quality oils that are not processed. So whenever you see cold pressed, like extra virgin olive oil is cold pressed, and whenever you see these good fats, these are the types you want. So recap on the balanced plate: 40% fruit and vegetables, 10% whole grains, 25% quality protein, 25% good fats. Now, day 3 is the day that most of the clients that I have that go through the 10 days, they start to say on day 3, they start to notice that their sugar cravings, if they've been sticking to the 5-step guide, the hold of them on that sugar addiction starts to loosen. So this is great. If you're not experiencing that, or you're experiencing any signs of detox, remember, you are an individual, so anything that you experience is unique to you. So you have to learn to listen to your own body and be mindful that detox is difficult for some people, but might not be as difficult for you. It depends on, so many things: what you've been eating, what your diet's normally like, what your lifestyle's like, all the toxins you're exposed to, everything that's in your gut, the imbalance of your gut. So many things are unique to you. So typical signs of detox can be headaches and migraines, skin breakouts, lack of energy as you remove the processed foods and the sugar that have been highly stimulating you. You may have removed the caffeines as well in some of those foods. So these are signs of detox. But what we tend to find is these first 3 to 5 days, that's when the detox symptoms start to be removed, okay? So I want to support that process by making sure that in your 40% of your plate that is fruits and vegetables, eat as much greens as you can. So let me give you some examples of how you can incorporate green foods that really support the detox process, so really support that elimination of the toxins. Let me give you some examples of green foods. Hi to everyone that's joining, welcome. Send me some love, I want some hearts, I want some waves. If you've just joined now, send me some love. And if you're not sure what this video is about, welcome to the live version of the Good Gut Guide. The Good Gut Guide is my 10-day nutrition plan to reset your gut. It's about creating a personalized nutrition plan for you, and it's really about making sure that you start your nutrition on the right path, knowing what foods your body loves and knowing what foods you don't love. So if you haven't bought the program, please make sure you do. It's only $47. You go to elika.co, go to the programs page, head to the bottom of the page and you'll see the Good Gut Guide. So welcome to the 10-day live version of the Good Gut Guide. So we're on day 3, so I'm just giving a recap to everyone. So I was saying about the green vegetables that really going to support the detox process. These green vegetables are, for example, broccoli, kale, kailan, spinach. I absolutely love sea vegetables, rich, really nutrient-dense seafoods. So these are the ones that I'm talking about. So think about chlorella. Think about spirulina. Spirulina is one of the most nutrient-dense foods. It's a fabulous source of protein. Think about what the fish eat. So these are great examples. You can be drinking, especially if you've been trying to come off caffeine for these 10 days, drink your matcha latte. Matcha latte, great. You see, so think of all of these green foods. These foods are really going to support the detox process. So I want you to eat an abundance of fruit and vegetables anyway, but I really want to make sure that you're really considering, am I getting the greens in every meal? So I've already given you an example. In all of the materials on the Good Gut Guide, you have recipes, you have your shopping list, you have great SWOT list, so you've got a smoothie guide, you've got plenty of things in the handouts and in the video training to support you with examples of the foods that you can be eating every day to make sure you eat a balanced plate. Now, if you've been watching me for the last 3 days, you'll know that every single day I've also invited guests to join me that can support you and give you some inspiration and some ideas on how you can live optimal health. And so today I am so happy to be asking a really amazing friend of mine and a specialist in Ayurveda to be joining us, and her name is Ziba. So Ziba, I know, is joining shortly, so let's just see. I can see her in the chat. Hello, Spoonfully Yours. Hello, everybody that's joined. If you've got any questions, please do ask away. If you're just watching the replay, then this is a recap to, the Good Gut Guide, day 3. Okay, so Ziba's going to be joining us now for a minute to connect. So happy for her to join us today. Hi, Ziba.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm very good, very good. I'm so happy that you're joining with me today.
Thanks for having me today.
Oh, so could you start by introducing yourself and telling everyone a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I am a health coach, an Ayurvedic clinician, and meditation teacher. Yes. And my sole purpose in life, I believe, is to help people to realize their fullest potential. And what I love about Ayurveda is that it is completely holistic. It looks not only at the physical body, but also at the spiritual body. And in modern day society, we're so disjointed. We're all about doing and doing and doing with our physical body. And the doing requires our mental body, oftentimes at the expense of our heart and our emotional body. And so we get completely thrown out of balance. And so one of my tasks is to bring people into alignment and to bring their 4 bodies into balance so they can ultimately be happy and healthy, not only physically, but mentally and emotionally and spiritually as well.
I love this. I just love it. And, for those of you that don't know, which would surprise me, I'm a very spiritual person. And I would say it wasn't always that way. I was brought up as a Catholic. But what spirituality means to me is really just this knowing that there's something more than what I can feel and sometimes see that is really driving me every day and supporting me every day. But I definitely, coming from the corporate background where, we have a lot of left-brainers, very analytical, very thought-driven people, always in the mind, this was really hard for me to adjust and to realize that this connection with myself was so important. And from that, enhance my spiritual practices, which are just about being more mindful. What Ziba, would you say to this person that is kind of in that background that I'm from, that is like, Ayurveda, is this just some woo-woo thing? What would you say to them?
Well, I'd say that ultimately, in life, we can only do so much. There are things that we can control and things that we cannot control. Right? You can keep, as Dr. Rick Hansen says, you can keep watering the fruit tree, but you can't make it bear fruit. You can tend to all of the causes, but you can't guarantee that outcome. And so there comes a point, especially if you're raised in the West, where you're taught from the beginning that it's an individualistic society, and you are the locus of control. You want something, you go out there and you manifest it and you make it happen because you can. There's a lot of truth to that, but there's also this element, this crucial element of being able to surrender, to say, I've done everything I can, but now I've got to surrender. I've got to let it go. I've got to let go of the outcome. But what I found in my practice, Elika, is the question comes up of who do I surrender to, or what do I surrender to, right? Who am I letting go to? If I'm not making it happen and I let go, there's this tremendous fear that it'll never manifest.
Yes.
So that's where the element of spirituality comes in. I think it's this experiential feeling. Religion teaches us dogma. Religion teaches us how to be. Religion oftentimes teaches us consequences, good as well as bad, right? You do this, you get into heaven, or you have good karma. And you do this, and you get into hell, or you've got bad karma. But spirituality, I think, is more about the here and now, and about us creating our heaven and hell here and now, with our clinging, with our cravings, with our aversions, with our addictions. And that's where that element of surrender comes into place, so that we can feel relaxed and we can shift from that doing to the being.
And how have you found that the practice of Ayurveda has supported people with their health?
With their physical health or all of their
any physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. To me, health is encompassing all of those.
Okay, so Ayurveda looks at all of it. And what I do in my practice is I'll see which of the four bodies is most out of balance and start there with the lowest hanging fruit so they get results immediately. Then they start feeling better. They begin believing more in it. And you can't heal if you don't believe in the healing modality, whatever it is, right? All these placebo studies have proven that,
yes.
Right? You gotta believe in it in order for it to work. You gotta believe that you're worthy of healing, that you're worth that clean diet, that you're worth that detox cleanse that you're on. You know, you gotta come from this deep place of ultimately self-love and giving yourself the best that you can. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just giving yourself the best that you can because you know that you're worthy of it. You know that you're deserving of it.
Yes.
And so Ayurveda looks at all of these four bodies and ultimately brings them back into balance. And it also looks at the energetic body, the masculine and the feminine. It looks at the chakras. It looks at where there's blockage in the body, not only from a systemic perspective, but also from an energetic perspective. Like fear so often in our bodies is housed in our third and fourth chakras, our Manipura Chakra, which is in our solar plexus, which is the gut, right? It's below that belly button area, right?
Exactly.
Which is where our small and large intestines are. And so often when people are fearful, especially Pitta dosha people, they'll overproduce hydrochloric acid in the stomach, and it'll wreak havoc on their digestive tract. So these are the go-getters, the people who tend to be overachievers, or they work too many hours because they're not very efficient. It can work both ways, but what it does physiologically to the body is it makes an acidic climate in the body. And we both know that when we have an acidic body internally, it's a prime environment for cancer to thrive. Because we hear about alkaline, right? We always want to be alkaline. And the opposite of alkaline is acidic. And that's when we get inflammation, we get gut issues, we develop cancerous cells, we don't detox correctly, our natural killer cell goes down, and we begin to develop all kinds of systemic issues. And it's not just one thing usually. At that point, it's many things that are going off.
I love this. I want to break a lot of that down for everybody. So, guys, Ayurveda is the science of life, right? And, you know, for many of us, because of our education system, we get taught to be very logical about everything. So one of the things that I always do throughout my practice is always, when I'm coaching clients, I do tell them the science behind everything. Because, you know, to become certified, I had to study, and also I do 2 hours of self-tuition every day because I love this subject, health and wellness. But I do all of that. But I also think it's really important about just also feeling for things as opposed to just always searching for the answers externally. So if you imagine that Ayurveda is the science of life, what is science? Well, science is really just, you know, the study of behaviors and patterns. And so how old is Ayurveda practice, Ziba?
More than 5,000 years old.
Okay, so you can imagine that someone has been studying this for that longer, right? So what I want everyone to know is that sometimes the science that we have today is behind the knowledge and the wisdom from our ancestors. So if you're always searching for the science to back things, what about when the human brain, which has a limitation, hasn't found the answer that you need for your body? So in putting that aside, let's just talk about the science of what Ziba's sharing when she's talking about if you don't believe you can heal, you won't heal. The Good Gut Guide, I'm cleaning up your gut. But in order to clean up your gut, you've got to know yourself that one, you want to do this and the reasons why. You've got to know that, yes, personalized nutrition, you deserve to understand what does your body want from you in terms of the food that you eat. And the research and the science linked to that is that the gut is called our second brain. And the reason why that is that all of these microbes that are covering all of our body, a lot of them sit inside the gut, a lot of them are in the colon. And through the vagus nerve, there's a communication between the gut and the brain. So therefore, what she's explaining is you've got to believe this is because what you think is communicating directly to your gut. So if you're like, if I eat this, I'm going to be fat, you are communicating that to your gut. If you are like, oh my God, I hate this vegetable because this was the vegetable that my parents forced me to feed, forced me to eat when I was a kid, or I hate vegetables, or I have a very beautiful dear friend in my life, which work in progress, but I hate all fruit. So that communication is going to the gut. And if the gut, in order for it to thrive, needs fruits and vegetables because it thrives off the fiber from them, and you have a communication going to the gut saying, I don't eat fruit or vegetables, can you understand how it's impossible for you to be healthy? So I just want you to know a little bit about the science that's behind what Zeba's also sharing. So please, anyone that's joining, ask questions, share some love. You know, this is day 3 and, you know, there's a lot to share around Ayurveda. Zeba, can you explain more about the doshas? What are they and what do you mean by them?
Sure. So in Ayurveda, we have what's called the Panch Mahabhuta, which are the 5 great elements of nature, which are earth, water, fire, wind, and space. And all of these 5 elements combine in 3 unique ways, and they form 3 doshas that are in everything. They're in nature, there are doshas assigned to the time of day, there are doshas assigned to the parts of the body, and there's also doshas assigned to each one of us. Now, each of us has all 3 doshas. It's just a matter of which one is primary, secondary, and tertiary, and then in what percentage. So you can have 2 individuals who are both Vata Pitta dosha, but one might be a lot more Vata than the other person, and so their diet's different, their character's different, the illnesses that they're prone to are different. And what we say in Ayurveda is that everything is customized, everything. Because just because 2 people, for example, are Vata Pitta dosha, that does not mean you can put them on the same gut strengthening program. One might, for example, be allergic to dairy. And dairy might be warming and nourishing to the dry Vata environment of the other individual. So everything in Ayurveda is customized, and I know everything that you do, Elika, is also customized. There's no one size fits all when it comes to health.
Yeah, it's so important.
It's very, very important because if it's not handled correctly,
hi, sold out secret. Sorry, saying hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome to those who have just joined. We are on day 3 of the Good Gut Guide, the new customized nutrition program that I run, and we're doing a live version. So do send us some love. Today we're talking about Ayurveda, and I've also given everyone a prompt for what to do on day 3. And if you haven't bought the program already, please go to my website, elika.co, and check it out. And if you have any questions on anything we're talking about, post them, because this is the live version. Sorry, Zeba, you were saying?
I was saying, sweetie, that it's so important that everything be personalized for you, because you can actually feel worse if it's not handled correctly. And if the protocol that you're assigned is not a customized one, you can actually feel sicker while doing it. And we all tend to have this kind of, you know, the first couple days tend to be a little bit more challenging whenever we're doing a detox of any kind, because the toxins are coming out. So we don't feel great to begin with. But if we don't feel great throughout the program, we know that it's not good and right for us, because ultimately you know best what's good for your body, right? Your own best stuff, right? You feel it within you. And so that's the way to go when it comes to healing.
Absolutely. So when it comes to nutrition and what is going wrong with some of the issues that we're having in our health, and particularly linked to the gut and digestion, what do you think are some of the principles that we can take away as well from Ayurveda that people could apply to how they eat better today?
Well, I'm sure it's the same stuff that you teach, Elika. You want to have a whole, natural, organic real food diet.
Yes.
Right. Then you want to look at your nutritional panel. You want to look at the super important vitamins and minerals. Vitamin D is responsible for over 400 chemical reactions in the body.
Yeah.
Your D is low, you're not functioning optimally, period. And there's no guesswork that can be done. You got to go in, you got to get your blood drawn and get it checked. Because sometimes, you know, everyone says, you know, go outside, spend 20 minutes in the sun and you'll produce enough vitamin D. Not true for everyone. Not true. And the darker we are, the more pigmentation we have in our skin, chances are the more easy it is for us to become vitamin D deficient. So we ought to keep getting checked every year. If we live in a place that's north of the Mason-Dixon line in North America, if you're living in a very cold climate, you're not getting a lot of sun this time of year. So you're going to need to increase your vitamin D intake. So if you live in a place where it's cold winter, you don't get enough sunlight, you don't have enough daylight hours, maybe you need 5,000, 10,000 IUs of vitamin D daily. Maybe in the summertime, you only need 2,000. The only way to know is to get your blood levels checked and see where your vitamin D is. Omega-3, super important for the gut and the brain and to help lower cholesterol. Zinc, so important for women, especially with thyroid issues. Iron and zinc can help prevent hair loss in women who have thyroid issues. Again, both of those become evident only through blood work. The B vitamins, vitamin B12, B9, B6, niacin, B3, so important. Super important. So in Ayurveda, we look at the nutritional panel, we look at diet, which is what you're eating. We look at absorption of what you're eating. Sometimes a person can be eating a very super healthy diet and it's just not getting absorbed by their system. So in that case, they require extra supplements. We also look at the immune function in Ayurveda. We look at toxic load. You know, are you eating a lot of fish? People say eat fish because it's healthy. Yeah, but it's also full of lead and mercury sometimes. So we look at toxic load. We look at inflammation. Number one cause of inflammation, we find sugar, simple carbs, right? If you're having that croissant every morning, if you're having that bagel every morning, it's not good for your gut digestion. It's just not. Gluten is one of the top enemies of the gut, right? It creates intestinal permeability. And then all kinds of things get out into our bloodstream which should not be there, and that causes inflammation. And then our body begins attacking itself. And it's all because of our diet. We also look at metabolic status, your blood glucose. Are you prone to diabetes? Again, because of your diet. Diabetes is so easily reversible. And the majority of it is lifestyle. Because what we see now is an increase exponentially in type 2 diabetes. People are not born with type 2 diabetes, right? A person can be born with type 1 diabetes, but type 2 diabetes is completely lifestyle. So maybe you had that genetic predisposition within you, but what did you do to where at age 42, all of a sudden you're diagnosed with diabetes? Right? What were you doing those first 42 years where you weren't diagnosed with it, but all of a sudden there's been something that's turned on within you? What caused it to turn on that gene and have you get this diagnosis? When we look at healing a person throughout Ayurveda, we look at all these things because they all impact the physical body ultimately.
So beautiful. So guys, you see, the thing is, those of you that are on the program, do you see why I'm taking you through these steps and why in the handouts you have all of these, all the shopping lists and the recipes because of these things that we're talking about? So you can see why in the 5-step guide in the program, why I ask you for those first 7 days to eliminate dairy, gluten and refined sugar. You know, Zeba's just talked to them about some of the inflammation that you get from things like gluten, especially imagine if you're allergic to dairy, 70% of the world's population are lactose intolerant. That's going to cause inflammation, right? Refined sugar, you know, Zeba just talked about diabetes. Refined sugar is so highly processed, it's basically got no nutritional value for you apart from spiking your blood sugar. So this is the reasons why in those first 7 days I've asked you to eliminate those. And then why in the days 8, 9 and 10 we test to see how is your body responding to this, so that we can clean out your gut, remove all the toxins, remove all those things that are causing the inflammation in your body, and then allow your body to go through this healing process. So this is super important. So everything that she just shared there, all the vitamins and all the nutrients, and also you might be eating well, she mentioned, but are you absorbing all of those foods? Well, until you clean out the gut and you do this reset, you don't know if maybe when you thought you were eating all those things, it was this one thing that you might have incorporated into your diet every single day that was actually causing the major issue. And this is some of the things that I find is like, some people, they go 80% of the way, but there's one thing that they kept in their diet that was causing the problem. In these first 7 days, you're going to test all of that, and you're going to see when your body cleans up, when you get this reset, you're going to really see it's like a clear ocean. When you put something in there, you're going to see, and connect the dots between what you're eating and how it makes you feel. Ziba, thank you so much for sharing all of that. I just think it's really given people a taste as to all of the things that we want to consider when we're creating customized nutrition, and what more important, like I always say, health is our true wealth. So the bigger picture of health. So there's a lot of things that you support people on in terms of their journey in health generally, but where is the best place for them to reach out to you and to learn more about Ayurveda or anything that you do?
They can reach out to me on my website. It's zibahealing.com, or they can find me here at Instagram at zibahealing.
There you go. So guys, I hope that's given you a really great insight into, health in so many different facets, but just in particular, we've spoke a lot about Ayurveda today. We've connected that as to that particular study and how that really impacts health. But, I'm just so excited for all of you that are really on this journey with me over the next 10 days. We're going really deep together, and you're really getting insights from the people that I'm bringing in on these lives as to all the different things that you might need to consider. But when you look at the materials in the program, you have your daily videos online on those programs. You have all the materials that can take you step by step every single day. And the great thing is you have it for life. So like me, you can do it every 3 months. Those of you that are new and watching this for the first time, if you haven't bought the program, please, it's a basic nutrition. All of my clients, whatever programs they're on, they have to do this Good Gut Guide as part of it. So you go to elika.co, go to the programs page, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and you'll see the Good Gut Guide. It's only $47, so money cannot be an issue when it comes to your health, because health is our true wealth. So it's been lovely. Thank you, Ziba, and thank you everybody else. If you've got any other comments, please send them my way. And I will be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock to guide you all with day 4. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much, Ziba. Take care.
You too.
Take care. Bye.